I have one of these T-2D gimbals on my DJI Phantom, and I wanted to upgrade the firmware. Let's see how I got it set up here. Connected in there. I'm having a heck of a time trying to figure out how to upgrade the firmware. Right now I'm running version 1.3 and I want to upgrade to version 1.4. Then I got to reading the instructions a little better, and I think I figured out what I'm doing wrong. I'm powering it up and everything at the wrong time. So, first thing let's do. Let's take our USB cable that they gave us, that came with the gimbal, plug it into the computer. Now, to upgrade the firmware first, so there's two things on this guy that we gotta watch for. You see, if you're looking at it, this is considered the front. So on the left side is where you plug in to upgrade and control the gimbal itself. Right, let's see if we can get a shot on that. Right there. Right there, that one. Now on the other side, so on the right side, this is where we control the motor firmware. Right there. So I'm going to start with this one. So first we plug in the computer, then let's plug it into the gimbal. And this, the next step is where I kept messing up. There we go, we're plugged in right there on the side. You can see it's kind of a tight, the wire's a bit tight, but there it is, right there, running to my computer. Now on the computer, before we plug it in, before we plug the power onto the gimbal, we gotta go to the computer. And I open up this is version 1.3. We need version 1.4 right here. So we open up the software. Go ahead and run that. Now we gotta first open the firmware file right there. And to navigate to it, you gotta go to where you have it saved. Then you go open that. If you want English, then firmware, then the controller right there. Open. Now I'm kind of guessing here, but let's go ahead and say open COM port. Now this should connect to the USB controller that we just plugged in on the side. Then I'm going to click Start Upgrade. Alright, now it's saying starting upgrade procedure right there. So now, what I think we need to do is plug in the power. Let's plug in the power and see what happens. Oh wow, look at that. See if I can catch it. It just went through and it looked like it did the update. Never got that before, so that's a very good sign. Let me zoom out here and look at the software. That's got to be pretty good. Although if we look over here in the corner, it's still saying version 1.3. I imagine we'll have to unplug and plug back in for that to refresh. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to unplug the quadcopter. There we go. Give it a few seconds. And now we're going to plug it back in. Let's come back over here to the software. Open port. That updated to version 1.4. Wow, I've been spending so much time trying to figure this out. It's fantastic. Now what I'm going to do is try to upgrade the motors at the same time. So, let's follow the same procedure. I'm going to unplug this guy. Make sure that it's obviously still plugged into the computer. Now I'll unplug from the gimbal side the USB cord, and let's go to the right side over here. Remember, the motor is found over here. We'll zoom in and focus on that. This is for the motor on the right side. My USB cable won't reach all the way around, so we'll plug it in right here. Just like that. Okay, then let's set the software up again. Now for the motor section on the software, it's in a different spot. We go to motor configuration, and now let's open the COM port. Please connect to motor port. I think that's right. Let's open firmware. Here's the motor firmware, and it's actually located in the same exact spot that the regular gimbal firmware was located. Open that. I'm going to click Start Upgrade. Now let's plug in the power and see what happens. That just zipped right through. Man, look at that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Gonna power cycle this guy again. And I think we're good. We are now on version 1.4 for the gimbal. So hopefully this helps you guys, because it sure as heck, I just figured this out and I've been fighting this for a long time. Really, it's my own fault because I didn't read the instructions carefully enough. If you have any questions, of course, ask them down below.